Hello everyone and welcome back to another wonderful episode of Guapish Rule 34. As always, I'm your host Tanner, and today I'm joined by my very special co-host Nico.
I'm awfully irked at the moment, Tanner. I was really hoping to do the cute little intro today, but I guess that you
should have been a bit quicker
gypped me
about
once
it.
Again.
Yeah, sorry you waited too long, and you know what they say, the early bird gets to intro the episode. Also joining us today is super special co-host Jackson.
Hello, I'm the super special co-host this episode.
Mm-hmm. And also joining us is our fucking Rubik's Cube expert, Dylan.
I have never solved a Rubik's Cube in my life.
That's why you're an expert.
Let's go.
You're specifically an expert at mixing them up so that they can't be solved.
I'm the expert because I take the stickers off and put them back on in the right color.
There you go. Well, boys, here we are. Another week, another Guapish.
Can we coin that phrase? Is that something we can do?
I don't see why not.
There we go. That's our new
There's
slogan.
literally nothing stopping us.
Yeah, nothing can or should get in the way of us doing that. Well, do we want to go right into the special thing we did this week?
Yes.
I'll take that as a yes, I guess.
Yeah.
So, everyone, for this week, we have a super special challenge that we did. We were all given the challenge of writing our very own short story, which we will now be reading, and then I guess we'll, I don't know, we'll do a vote where you can't vote for your own, and we'll see who has the best short story.
Come on, Tanner, you sound a little more excited about it. You sound so down
dude,
right
I'm
now,
so
dude.
fucking pumped. We all wrote our stories, and we're
wrote
so
a short
creative
story,
and good.
guys!
Holy shit.
Christ.
Oh my god.
That shit took Tanner's soul.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
was that shit, by the way, Tanner? What was going down?
I don't know. I took a shit right when I got home, and I came over here to get ready to start recording, and then my stomach was just being fucky wucky, and so I went back in the bathroom, and then I just kind of like shit some more, and now I feel fine.
That's good.
Yeah. Speaking of shit, who wants to go first?
I think
Whoa,
you should
whoa.
because you're the one that had the general idea of doing this in the first place.
True and fair enough. Okay, I'll
And
start
also,
with
you're the
my
one
story.
who has been fucking making us lollygag here this whole time, so you need to be punished somehow.
Okay,
Lollygag.
I don't see how this is a punishment, but whatever.
I don't see either.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and go first, and I guess I'll just read my story, I suppose.
I suppose
Okay.
so.
So this story is called The First Step by Tanner Nikolai. Fuck, I'm trying to think of voices to do for the characters now. This isn't going to be a debate. Of course I'm going to go first. I'm the leader, Bradford stated in a somehow matter-of-fact yet whiny voice. Come on, Bradford. We all know you're only leader because of who your pops is. I mean, this is your first planet walk, for Christ's sakes. This may be my first interplanetary mission, Pickett, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm the one in charge, Bradford huffed. I say Lopez should go first. He's been in the program the longest, chimed Richards. Here we were, millions of miles from Earth, about to finally achieve mankind's destiny of walking on Mars, and we're arguing about who gets to take the first step. I've noticed that so far we've only suggested men to be the first, Green quipped to the groans of Bradford and eye roll of Pickett. Da, I would be more than happy to be the one, Vlasov added. If there's one person it definitely won't be, it's the Ruski, Bradford stated. Watch it, Bradford. You can't say shit like that, Pickett rebutted. Hey, all I'm saying is whose flag is on the outside of the friggin' shuttle, alright? Bradford shrugged before sitting down. We were in the mess/meeting room of the landing station. Bradford, the appointed leader of the mission, Pickett, the chief engineer, Lopez, the chief scientist, Richard, the lander's primary pilot, Green, the communications officer, and Vlasov, a Russian astronaut chosen to go on this mission to enhance international cooperation. And me. My job is just to chronicle the mission for posterity. What exactly is so complicated about I'm the leader, so I go first? Bradford asked. Nothing complicated aside from you being an entitled dumbass, Green added. Whoa, we don't need to be getting heated like this, Richards interjected. I think the fairest thing to do is take a vote. I've completely forgotten the voices, so I'm just going to drop it now. This is ridiculous, Bradford complained. Lopez, what do you think? I don't care who goes as long as we get this over with, Lopez replied wearily. Bradford was about to say something when Pickett interrupted him and called for votes. We ended with 2 votes for Green, 1 vote for Bradford, 1 vote for Lopez, 1 vote for Pickett, and 1 vote for Vlasov. All right, that's that, Pickett said. Green gets to go first. Now hold on a second, Bradford started when Green said, Come on, Bradford, fair's fair. No, it's not fair. We can't make a decision like this with only 2 votes. It's more votes than you got. Only 1 more. Yeah, and that's twice as many as you. All I'm saying is we should have a bit more consensus, all right? There were a few groans, and then the room erupted in arguments before eventually going silent. After a moment, finally, Lopez speaks up and said, What if we chose randomly, pull names out of a hat or something? Green, Pickett, Richards, and Vlasov all signaled their agreement with the proposal and turned to look at Bradford. Bradford shifted in place before finally relenting. Fine, we can do a lottery. Pickett wrote down everyone's names and placed them in a space helmet. He shook it, stirred it, and finally his hand emerged with a folded piece of paper. He opened up the paper, looked down at it, and then looked up at me and announced that my name had been pulled. I couldn't believe it. The others congratulated me with a mix of jealousy and excitement, and even a bit of relief. After all, we had been arguing for almost 2 hours now. I made my way to the airlock, entered the chamber, and after a brief moment to prepare myself, I finally opened the door onto the Martian landscape. The first step. My breath left me. I couldn't believe it. I had forgotten my spacesuit. The end.
Good job. Here, Tanner. Here.
Woo! Yeah!
Thank you.
Yeah,
How'd you guys like it?
It's very good. Very funny. I like it.
I enjoyed it. I like the twist.
Yeah, I had this idea. I was like, it's like a 12 Angry Men in space, and I was having the hardest time figuring out the ending, and then that ending popped into my head, and I was like, oh, that's good. That's a nice little funny subversion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a pretty competent story for my first attempt.
Jackson,
Yeah, I'd say so. Now it does remind me of something I actually did want to ask about all of you guys here. What would you say was like your writing process throughout this week when it came to coming up with your stories and stuff like that?
I finished mine like an hour before we had this podcast. I just wrote it all down without stopping.
I just wrote mine in 2 chunks, across 2 days.
I wrote mine over the course of like the entire week, and it kind of, my creative thought process just kind of ramps up, and like I just kind of work off the momentum that I had previously. So
yeah, I'd say it was generally the same for me as it was for Dylan overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find when I get like story ideas, I usually get like the entire outline all at once. And it's just like trying to fill in the details that I find the hardest.
Yeah, for me it's generally like I'll have like some sort of an idea to start with, and then like a couple of scenes will pop up in my mind where I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. That's the good shit right there. Mm-hmm. And then it takes me some time to like really figure out what like the connecting tissue is there. You know, how to bind these like random parts together.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm completely with Nico on that one. That's pretty much exactly how I look at things. I've got an idea for what I want for the ending of it, potentially, and how it starts, and then maybe some things in between, but I never actually end up, like, writing anything, because the process of thinking, like, of entertaining ways to connect all of these things that I think are very entertaining is just really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That was my story. The first step, a little, character drama.
All right. Very nice.
Is there anyone who would like to go next?
I request.
I nominate Jackson next.
Dylan, did you say you'd like to?
I said I request to go last.
Oh, okay.
Dylan's not finished yet.
I think he's finished, but he just has to he's doing a lot more effort to this than just writing a story. Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
I didn't even consider making a title for this.
Oh, damn.
Come up with one right now.
Do it.
Cats in the House.
Let's go.
There we go.
I love it.
All right. Yeah, the story is about cats in the house. All right. I open my eyes to the bright screen room, previously filled with flashing lights, as my owner finishes up looking at a wall. I would have preferred to be sleeping in my bed, but he always liked sitting out here looking at the bright screen for hours each night, so I had to sleep on his spinning chair instead. My servant bends down to rub my head, signaling it's time. It's finally time for some real sleep. I stand up to stretch and then hop down and follow him to his room. Or to my room. I really hope she didn't take my castle again tonight, I grumble as I trot along. My servant makes his usual noises in response to me. I wonder if he'll ever get smart enough to understand what I'm saying. If he gets me something to scratch myself with, I might not even need him anymore. I enter my usually warm room and a chill runs down my spine. I look around but didn't notice anything unusual until I smell her high above. Sleep outside tonight? Lilac groans after she hears me enter. He should have never let you sleep in here again, let alone in my castle, I grumble back as I hop into my bed. I should preface this. I didn't edit this at all. This is really fucking rough. I should have at least done like a single test run before actually like reading this out. I'm encountering many roadblocks. Anyways, where the fuck was I? Finally, my servant enters my room with his now filled flask of water and starts with his nightly routine of getting ready for bed. I hop down and follow him along, giving him the occasional nightly rundown. Make sure you don't get out of bed tonight. I'll be with you and watch you safe. I know Lilac won't be of any help per usual, I say right as he reaches to rub Lilac like on cue. Bringing that cat in here was the worst mistake he made yet. Worse than getting my stomach sliced open and being forced to wear that dreaded head device. He finally settles into bed, looking at a smaller screen like he can't live without it, and I settle in by his feet. The heat tower is still running at full speed, but it almost feels like I can see my breath. I shoot Lilac a quick glare, but she ignores me and curls up even tighter. Here I go again, I think, as I follow suit and curl up myself for the night. Several hours pass, and I'm awakened by Lilac repeatedly whispering my name from the ground below. Shimi, Shimi, it's back, do something, she whispers hastily. Seeing my eyes open up, she quickly ascends to the top of my castle again and starts darting her eyes between me and the door. Disgruntled, I sneak alongside the side of my servant towards the stand by the door. I glance over to him, he seems uncomfortable. I have to finish this fast or else he'll wake up soon. I get to the door and start turning the knob, when it suddenly slips out of my control and swings open, knocking me to the ground. I shoot another glance at my servant and he seems to be asleep, thankfully, but not for long as a wave of cold air rushes into the room. I slip out the door, pushing it closed as I go to keep the hot air in. Why did he have to pick this house, I think, as I sneak around looking for whatever seems to be causing the trouble. It's been at least a week since you showed up. I thought I finally got rid of you. I don't like leaving the hallways of the house as I become very exposed, so I usually start with the left of my room. That should say right of my room, if we're actually looking at the landscape of the house we live in. Anyways, I was going to stick to this plan until creak. I turn my head towards the food room. I leave the hallway and sneak along the side of the large gray scratching post and survey the area from safety. My hair stands on end, tail fully erect as the air gets colder and colder the further I creep. Finally reaching the end, I can feel it, and this time I'm not letting it get away. Suddenly there's a flash behind me, and heavy footstep pounding my direction. I've been tricked and now I'm totally exposed. Before I can react, I feel a hand run along my back, roughly, and a voice whispers to me. I slowly look up to see one of the other residents of this house stroking me. Man, it's cold out here this morning, I say, walking back to the bathroom after petting Shimi in the hallway. I don't know what Shimi was doing. Turn on the shower and then suddenly hear a scraping noise against the door. Shimi, what are you doing out here? I say as I slowly crack the door to see what she's doing, but she's nowhere to be seen. Instead, there's a shadowy figure in her place, standing in the dimly lit hallway. Man, my schizophrenia is brutal this morning, I say after closing the door to the bathroom, slightly unnerved. I hop into the hot shower and notice my breath as I breathe out, and the bathroom light flickers slightly. Just another day in the house. Okay, that's it.
Woo!
Ooh.
Okay. Give us an encore, Jackson.
No.
Make up an entire sequel right now.
I like the little self-narrative. It was very, very, very interesting. I really liked hearing the story from the cat's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Bet you didn't expect it to turn into you. By the way, that's Dylan talking.
Yeah,
at
I
the
know.
End.
I was like, why the
Dylan.
fuck did it turn into me at the end? Although I do not want to confirm or deny that I have schizophrenia. So that's unbeknownst to some
Unfortunately, you
people.
cannot confirm nor deny it until you get checked by a medical professional.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, that
So
was
to
a-
make it too
keep saying
real.
stuff like that.
Wait, what?
That would make it too real.
Yeah, I really like the concept of doing a ghost story where it's like a ghost human story, but from a cat perspective. That's a good angle.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys picked up on this either, but I definitely drew inspiration from Pan's Labyrinth with this, specifically with not knowing if the fantasy stuff is actually real or not, because it's just like a cat. Nothing like it was ever like shown or like I guess described to be, you know, actually like, you know, a fucking ghost or something. And you can like blame it on Dylan's schizophrenia, I guess, at the end, which is very similar to how Pan's Labyrinth did it. Anyway,
Right.
Yeah.
that's why I came up with in an hour.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty
really
good.
actually. I like that a lot.
Fantastic work, Jackson. You wouldn't even know it was only an hour.
If I fucking edited it beforehand, this would have been a much easier reading.
Yeah.
All right, Nico, you're up.
I'm up. Oh. Alrighty, so here's the thing about mine, okay? This shit is 17 pages long.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna read all of that.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not gonna
That's
read
the
all
whole
of
point
that.
of the challenge.
Yeah, but that's also gonna be like fucking half an hour or some shit to read through it all, and I don't want to read that much.
Read the whole thing, Nico.
I'm not reading the whole thing. If you want to read the whole thing yourself, please subscribe to our Patreon, where we will have the entire thing posted just for you.
Send me the story and I'll read the whole thing if you're not gonna do it.
Fine, I'll send you the story so you can read the whole thing.
He's gonna read it and edit it in and post.
No, I'm saying I'll read it out loud right now if he's not gonna do it.
You'll read the whole thing right now, eh?
Yeah.
Alright, let's
The
see
whole point
here.
of the challenge was to make a short story, and what's the point of doing that if you're not gonna read the whole fucking short story?
Cause it's so fucking long, dude. I don't want to read the whole thing. Hang on, let
It'll
me
barely
fucking
take any
add
time
you
at
on
all.
this,
You should read the whole thing, man.
on this Google Doc here.
Take some pride in your work.
Yeah,
I
I'm do the same thing
refuse.
too. You guys both have long ass ones.
Let's see here. Share with others. Add people. TannerNickel@gmail.com. Send. There you go, Tanner. You now have access to it. Now, the story is titled "That There Is No Sleep at the End of the World."
Oh, yep, here it is. Damn, you got 17 pages and tiny text?
Yes.
That's impressive. You went ham on this thing. Alright, let me go ahead and get started here.
Please use a very like sultry voice, you know.
There is no sleep at the end of the world. The moment Connor awoke from his slumber, he wanted nothing more than to return to it. The wall that had once stood right next to his bed had crumbled away in his sleep, along with the rest of the world. Connor slowly rose from his bed, but kept his eyes trained on the horizon. The bustling city that had once sprawled out in front of his house was now in ruins. The homes of his neighbors, the small businesses he would frequent on his way home from school, the skyscrapers that had once obscured his vision of the ocean, now reduced to a writhing mass of rubble and debris all around him. Connor had rarely gotten to see the ocean these days. The skyline had previously been conquered by monolithic buildings, and while he only lived 20 minutes away from the beach, realistically it would take him close to an hour due to all the traffic. But the ocean that he saw out on the horizon was not one that he recognized. The water before him had turned into a deep purple, and the sky itself had taken on an intense crimson color. Further off in the distance, he could see parts of the sea spiral upwards, climbing into the sky as if the ocean itself was trying to do everything it could to escape the carnage of the world below. These spirals extended well beyond the dark, heavy clouds, which ensured that their ultimate destination was entirely unknown. As Connor broke his gaze from the sky, he found it wandering to the streets below, which were now littered with the decimated buildings and the small trees that had once lined the sidewalks. Cars were strewn about and mangled as if they were nothing more than playthings of a large child who just finished throwing a tantrum. But as Connor looked more closely at the world he now found himself in, he began to take notice of something that disturbed him the more he observed his surroundings. Connor was completely alone. No matter how hard he looked from the safety of his bed, Connor couldn't see another living person. Forget just living, even the remains of those caught up in this destruction were strangely missing among all the carnage. Every morning tended to be a struggle for Connor to get out of bed due to how exhausted he usually was, but this time it was different. Connor was completely paralyzed by the sight of the world around him. His mind was rapidly flooding with questions. How could he just sleep through whatever caused all of this? Why is he the only person left? This isn't how it was supposed to be. Connor was supposed to just wake up and have another boring day at school. Graduation was right around the corner, and then Connor's life could truly begin in earnest. The paralyzing fear was quickly being replaced by panic. This wasn't the world that he had foreseen spending the rest of his life in. He had plans of going to college in a few months. He was excited to finally get to spend some time with his parents and backpack through Europe with them over the summer. Hell, he hadn't even gotten the chance to kiss a girl yet. None of what he wanted was possible here. He just wanted to go back to how things used to be. He wanted to return to his normal life. Do you want to go back? Despite how softly the voice spoke, it still managed to shock Connor out of his stupor. He turned and peered right over the bed frame, just a little beyond where Connor had been laying his head just minutes before. There on the ground, with their back to Connor, sat another person. They appeared to be decently shorter than Connor. They wore a bright yellow, nearly neon-looking tank top with an equally bright red backpack. The colors seemed to pop even more against their brown skin. While their size and clothing suggested they were likely a child, their ashen hair made Connor hesitant to make that assumption. Connor tried to formulate a response with his mind, but his mind and mouth were at odds with one another. There were a million things that Connor wanted to say, and his mouth simply couldn't keep up with this demand, so in the end, Connor simply sat there with his mouth agape, staring at this individual. Finally, the person spoke once more. Their words coming out at a leisurely pace, with a dullness that suggested despite the current circumstances, they still somehow found this all incredibly boring. If you wish to no longer be here, then I can send you back to yesterday before any of this ever happened, but such an act will of course require some form of payment from you. The prospect of being able to put all of this behind him finally allowed something to click inside Connor. Before he could even think, his lips had moved on their own. Yes, of course I don't care what it takes. I just don't want to be here anymore, Connor blurted out. The person gave a slight nod. It had looked like there was more they wished to say, but Connor's words were enough to satisfy them. They crawled around so the front of their body was now facing Connor, and he was now able to see the face of a young boy staring at him. Connor didn't have enough time to take in the appearance of the boy's face because the most prominent feature of the boy demanded Connor's attention. Where Connor had expected to see a pair of bright, young eyes staring at him, he was instead greeted by empty sockets of pure darkness. Before Connor could even muster a yell, he felt as though he had been swallowed by the darkness which squeezed itself around his whole body. Just as Connor was beginning to believe the abyss would never let him go and render him immobile inside a pure black void for all eternity, he was greeted by the morning light shining through his window, surrounded by his now intact home. Connor remained in his bed for quite some time, trying to process everything that he had just witnessed. He'd had some very strange dreams in the past, but nothing that felt so real. His daze was eventually broken when he heard the doorbell ring, and he knew exactly who would be waiting for him when he opened it. Connor shot up out of bed and hastily began throwing on some clothes, quickly forgetting about the strange events that had just transpired not too long ago. He heard the doorbell ring a couple more times as he was finishing up with his morning routine. As he stopped by the kitchen to try and find something to eat on his way to the bus stop, he noted that it didn't look like his parents were home yet. Connor's parents were constantly on missionary trips overseas and were scheduled to get back today, but to Connor's disappointment, it looks like they wouldn't be arriving until later. Connor shrugged it off before finally swinging open the door for his impatient friend on the other side. "There's my bestie. Are you ready for another fun-filled school day?" Jenny yelled as soon as Connor opened his front door. Connor nearly leapt out of his skin. Despite Jenny doing something similar to this nearly every morning, Connor was always far too tired to be prepared for her morning antics. "Jenny, please, you're at like 9 you're at a Whoa, oh my gosh. You're at like a 9 already when I really need you to be at a 4. Could you tone it down a bit?" Connor said, barely being able to hold back a yawn as he was doing so. Ah, another busy night, I see, Jenny smiled as she turned her back and began to truck to the bus stop. For how smart you are, I would have thought you'd learn your lesson at this point to not stay up well past midnight playing video games on a school night. Oh, like you're much better, Connor said as he trudged forward, following slowly but surely behind her. You stay up nearly as late as I do, but you've got drugs on your side to help you out in the morning while I have to take my suffering raw. Jenny laughed and whipped her head back to stare at him as she said, That's right, a lifelong coffee addiction is a small price to pay if it means I don't have to be a zombie like you every morning. It just takes me a little bit to get going. I'll be feeling just fine after second period, Connor said, this time losing his battle against keeping the yawn contained. If we're lucky and we still have time for Spanish, then I can probably just catch some Z's while she makes us finish the rest of that Spanish version of Shrek we started yesterday. Jenny whipped her head back once more, but this time her face was contorted in confusion. What are you talking about? We didn't have school yesterday. Connor's pace immediately slowed. Something about her words sent a chill down his spine as Connor briefly recalled the boy with the missing eyes he had seen last night. The confusion on Jenny's face was soon replaced by a smile as she laughed and lightly tapped Connor's shoulder. Geez, dude, I know that you love school and all, but I hadn't expected you to spend your weekends there, she laughed again as she continued. Or do the upcoming finals just have you so stressed out that even your dreams have become occupied by school? They both knew this was unlikely. Connor was a bright student who hardly ever stressed out about school, and yet he couldn't really come up with an explanation for his confusion, so he went along with it. Yeah, I guess I just had a pretty weird series of dreams last night that for some reason involved watching Shrek at school. After a bit more playful ribbing, they had eventually made their way to the bus stop, and soon after, Connor found himself sitting next to Jenny in his first period Spanish class. Thus far, Connor's day had been pretty ordinary, just like any other day, but things started to feel a little off for Connor as soon as Mrs. Miller entered the room. With the class became noticeably more talkative the moment she came in. Mrs. Miller had been teaching as a substitute off and on at the high school ever since his mom went here, and everyone in the class knew that if Mrs. Miller was your substitute, it meant a movie day. Without even doing introductions, she started up a movie on the smartboard at the front of the class. Connor's peers began to laugh as they saw which movie Mrs. Miller had selected for them, and Jenny turned to Connor, giving an excited whisper, "It's just like in your dream." Connor gave her a nervous laugh as Shrek began to play, with Spanish subtitles and everything. While the movie played, Connor was too busy in his own mind to really focus on what was going on. He just needed to keep reminding himself that none of this was out of the ordinary. Teachers get sick all the time, and Mrs. Miller was constantly at this school showing students movies that they're a bit too old for. It was all just a coincidence. As the period neared its end, the film stopped for just a few minutes before it was over, at the exact spot that Connor had remembered it stopping before. Mrs. Miller assured the students that they would be able to finish the rest of the movie tomorrow and wished them all a good rest of the day. But for Connor, the rest of his day involved him constantly second-guessing himself. So many of the events today felt strangely similar to what they had already experienced, but he just had to keep reminding himself that his life is pretty mundane, so if he's consciously looking for similarities, then he's bound to find a ton of them. Give me a quick minute to go grab a glass of water.
Go for it, pal.
Fair.
Take it. I will take it.
Anyways, how are we all enjoying the story so far? Nico,
I think
you
they're all
liking it?
magnificent so far. These are all amazing stories, to be completely honest.
I'm enjoying it. I gotta say, props to the chef on this one.
I'm kind of worried for mine at this point, but I'm going to have confidence. I'm really excited about my story, to be completely honest.
That's
I
all
got
you
dyslexia, so I'm not a big fan of doing long bouts of reading.
Wait, do you have dyslexia?
Yeah, I have dyslexia.
Since when?
Always.
What? This is news to me.
I hide it well. I'm embarrassed of it.
I'm sorry. Well, this it'll probably be fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm back.
All
Let me
right.
just say, this is very well written so far.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much, my man.
Yeah, I can really tell you went to college.
Okay.
Intermission over. After 7 hours, Connor was finally able to go home and put the rest of this weird day behind him. Jenny had ambushed him as he was leaving the school and asked him if he wanted to go catch a movie with some of her friends, but Connor had declined, saying that he had a big project to finish up. Jenny would constantly invite Connor to go and do things with her friends, but he would always claim to have prior commitments. In reality, Connor didn't really have much going on after school. Jenny had a large group of friends, and Connor would feel awkward hanging out with them when he only knew one other person in the group. Connor could tell that Jenny was fully aware of this and was grateful she never called him out on his bluff. They said their goodbyes and Connor was on his way home. As he walked the streets back to his house, Connor couldn't help but take notice of the various businesses and other houses he had seen destroyed in his dream. It was nice to see everything as it should be once again. This feeling was short-lived, however, as the sidewalk was getting exceedingly crowded. Since it was nearing summertime, there had been a recent influx of people visiting the city to hit the beach for vacations. And since this time of day already saw students flooding the streets, it just left Connor feeling very claustrophobic. He had considered taking refuge inside a small ramen shop. Connor had begun to get fairly hungry, and the smells wafting out of their door certainly didn't help. This shop was his favorite in town, and he had gotten to know the old couple who ran it decently well due to all his years of patronage. It took all of his willpower to stay on track and continue on his way to his house. It was only a few blocks away, so he could wait to eat until he got there. When he finally got through his front door, the rest of Connor's day was able to continue as usual. He ate, hopped in the shower, did what little homework he had, and then played some video games until the sun went down. As it was getting late, he wondered where his parents were before remembering that dream had messed with his perception of time, and that they wouldn't actually be coming back until tomorrow. As the clock struck 1 a.m., Connor needed to call it a night. He said goodnight to the friends he had been playing with online and then turned off his TV. Connor crawled into bed and in no time was able to drift to sleep, but Connor couldn't sleep forever. He would eventually need to wake up, and when he did, a wave of dread washed over him as he was once again forced to confront a world in ruin. A decimated city, blood-red sky, and dark purple ocean spiraled into space. It was all as Connor had remembered. Panic rapidly set in as Connor struggled to come to grips with the world that he was seeing once again. He wanted to scream, but his lips only managed a weak quiver, so instead all of the things that he wanted to yell were forced to remain within his own head. Connor thought that everything he had seen the prior night was nothing more than a dream. While the environment around him had been terrifying so long as he operated under the idea that it was just a dream, then it didn't really matter. But seeing the world in this state once again shattered his fragile sense of security. Connor pulled his blanket over his head, knowing it wouldn't do him any good, but he just didn't want to see his home destroyed. He forced his eyes shut, hoping that by some miracle, when he opened them again, everything would be okay again. Connor weakly muttered, "I just want everything to go back to normal." "If you wish to return to normal, then I can make that arrangement for you," spoke a familiar voice. Connor's eyes shot open, and he threw off his blanket. The world around him was in the same state it had been when he had hid from it, but now at the foot of his bed sat the same boy Connor had met here previously. Despite the boy having the back of his head facing Connor, he could still feel those oppressing shadows leaking from the boy's eye sockets. Connor nearly spoke up and requested that the boy send him back, but he bit his tongue. As nervous as he was, Connor knew that he needed to get some answers. After taking a deep breath to calm his nerves, Connor forced a smile and introduced himself to the boy. "Hey there, bud. I'm Connor. What's your name?" Connor extended his arm for a handshake, but the boy did not reciprocate this action. "I haven't ever really been given a name," the boy coldly stated. "I suppose that means names have been attributed to me, but none of them really felt right." The boy gave a heavy sigh, as if that answer alone took excruciating effort, and then stood up from the bed. "If introductions are out of the way now, I can just take another one of your memories and send you back to yesterday if that's what you want." The fake smile that Connor had put on his face was instantly washed away as Connor tried to process the words he just heard from the boy. "What do you mean when you said you would take one of my memories?" A memory is the price that you must pay if you want to go back in time, the boy said calmly. I had intended to explain that to you previously, but you were so anxious to go back that you didn't give me the opportunity. This newfound information sent Connor reeling. He could hardly believe that such a thing was possible, but given his current situation, nothing was off the table anymore. Suddenly, the prospect of going back to the previous day had some stakes to it, and Connor wasn't entirely sure if it was a price he was willing to pay. What memory was it that you took from me? I don't recall, and it doesn't really matter, the boy said in a tone that Connor found to be far too relaxed given the circumstances. Any of your memories will do, really. I just pluck one of them at random. It could be a wonderful event from your childhood, or an embarrassing moment that you constantly think about. It could even be a memory you don't even know you have. I don't find the price to be all that steep. After all, you'll still be making more memories whenever I send you back. You'll never run out. The boy seemed to have grown bored of explaining the whole process to Connor, so with another sigh he asked, Now that you understand things, would you like to go back again? Connor was at a loss for words. He really wasn't sure what to do. While he had many more questions to ask the boy, they seemed to be pretty fed up with the conversation at this point, and since Connor couldn't even get a name out of him, it was unlikely the boy would offer much information. The idea of giving up another memory wasn't optimal, but it's not as if Connor had much of a choice in the matter, since it was either that or remain with the boy in the shell of his home. Hesitantly, Connor nodded. I guess if that's the price I have to pay, then so be it. The moment Connor spoke those words, the boy turned his face to Connor. He was only able to catch a glimpse of the boy's face before Connor was once again thrust into the void before awaking to another day just before the end of the world. As Connor laid there in his bed, he hoped desperately that everything he had just seen was a dream. He took a deep breath and then turned on his phone to find out what day it was. Despite his hands shaking, he managed to turn on the phone screen. It was Monday. Connor let out an exhausted groan. If it's Monday, then Connor either just had the strangest series of dreams in his life, or he really was just repeating the same day over and over again. Connor didn't have much more time to really consider the possibilities because his doorbell rang, so he needed to go and greet Jenny. He did his best to follow his usual morning routine, but skipped a couple of steps here and there. After all, the world was going to end regardless of if he combs his hair or not. As Connor approached his front door, he hesitated for a moment. With a silent prayer, Connor opened the door, hoping that Jenny would allow Connor to forget about that boy in the end of the world. There's my bestie. Are you ready for another fun-filled school day? Jenny yelled as soon as Connor opened his front door. His stomach dropped. Connor wanted to come up with a response, but nothing was coming to mind. The only thing he could think of was that he was about to relive the exact same day he had already gone through twice at this point. Jenny seemed to find Connor's strange state humorous as she gave a light chuckle. Ah, another busy night, I see, Jenny smiled as she turned her back and began the trek to the bus stop. For how smart you are, I would have thought you'd learn your lesson at this point to not stay up well past midnight playing video games on a school night. Connor was still at a loss for words, but not knowing what else to do, began following behind her as usual. Jenny tried to strike up some more conversation, but Connor was too lost in his own mind on their way to school. Everything progressed exactly as Connor had remembered. Whereas before he thought he was just imagining things, Connor was now able to understand that the things happening around him were more than just examples of how mundane his life was. As he found himself back in the first period Spanish class, Connor knew he needed to do something. He understood that he needed to get to the bottom of what was going on, but if he is going to be forced to repeat the same day over and over again, then he'll be wasting far too much of his time in school, and he certainly couldn't justify spending what little time he had each day watching Shrek. As Connor heard All-Star by Smash Mouth start to play, he stood up and made his way out of the classroom, stating he just needed to use the bathroom. There was no way he could sit through Shrek again or for the rest of his school day. You don't really think that you can ditch class without me, do you? Connor felt Jenny give him a nudge on his back. What are you talking about? You know I never skip class. I'm just heading to the bathroom, said Connor. Oh, please. Your nose crinkles a bit when you lie. It's just just like it's doing right now, and just like it did when you used that excuse back in class. Jenny knew him far too well. Connor had never been the best at lying, but he had hoped he had at least gotten a little better over the years. Evidently not. Connor knew Jenny just as well and could tell that there was no way she'd be leaving him alone, so it looked like he was going to have a travel buddy. You seem pretty out of it today. Do you want to go grab some coffee? Connor had never been much for coffee, but then he remembered what happens whenever he falls asleep. You know what? I could totally use a coffee right now. The pair stopped by one of the many local cafes. Despite it being nearly 90 degrees outside, Jenny insisted that they get some hot mochas, and since Connor was less experienced in the world of coffee, he didn't fight Jenny on her recommendations. Before they left, Connor spotted some cans of iced coffee and brought a few, figuring he could use them later to keep ward of his drowsiness. Connor winced a bit after his first sip. Jenny had sworn his drink would be so packed with various sweeteners and chocolate that there was no way he'd still taste the actual coffee. But lo and behold, they weren't enough to overtake the pungent flavor of the coffee. Regardless of the flavor, Connor continued to down it anyway. He would need to do everything he could to stay awake. You really must have had a rough night, Jenny said in amazement. You normally only take maybe 2 sips from your mocha. Are you honestly feeling alright? Connor wanted to tell her everything, but he wanted to tell her all of the horrible things he had seen, the devastation that would happen to their hometown, how he seemed to be the only person who survived, how he just kept repeating the same day, the strange boy, and how he kept losing more of his memories. Even if she could tell he wasn't lying, she'd probably just think that he's crazy, so instead he just needed to come up with some excuse. Yeah, I'm getting pretty nervous about graduation and everything. It feels like our lives are going to be changing so much soon. I hear that. I still need to work up the courage to tell my dad that I don't want to go to college. Oh, I totally forgot that you were going to ditch the whole college idea. As soon as those words left Connor's mouth, a chill spread throughout his whole body. That felt like such a big detail of his best friend's life to just forget. Connor couldn't tell if this was one of the memories that the boy had taken from him, or if it was just something that slipped his mind. Yeah, I'm still not sure what I want to do with my life quite yet, Jenny said, entirely unaware of the mental battle Connor was currently undergoing. I'll probably take a year or so to try and figure things out. I just don't like the whole idea of going thousands of dollars into debt when I don't even know what I want out of life, you know? Yeah, I get that. You can barely stand high school as it is, so if you hated college and dropped out, then it would just be a massive waste of money, Connor said. As much as Connor was enjoying his time hanging out with Jenny, he could still feel a looming pressure over him. He wanted to go out and search for some clues, but he had 0 leads. If he didn't act, then this day would just end up being wasted. Above all, he just wanted to get out of this situation. He didn't want to be the one to deal with any of this. If there was some way that he could get away from it all, he would do it in a heartbeat. As Connor thought more about what his hometown would be reduced to in a matter of hours, he had an epiphany. He had only seen what happened to the city and not the rest of the world. With this line of thinking, he started to formulate a plan, and he excitedly asked Jenny, "Would you like to go on a road trip?" While the rest of Connor's classmates were getting ready to go eat lunch, Connor was quickly grabbing everything from his house he would need for a spur-of-the-moment road trip. He packed a couple days' worth of clothes and some of his essential hygiene products and called it good. His parents had left him some extra cash in case of an emergency, and considering the end of the world was coming, Connor figured this certainly qualified. His parents had left one of their cars at the house, and while he felt bad about taking the car keys without asking, if he didn't find a way to get out of this whole time loop thing, then he would never see them again. As Connor left his house, he was surprised to see Jenny had already managed to pack everything she needed and still beat him outside his own house. "You move quick," Connor said, throwing the car keys at Jenny. "Hell yeah, man. I've been trying to get you to go on a road trip with me since the beginning of the year." Jenny caught the keys with ease and started loading her stuff into the car. "Out of the 2 of us, though, I'm still shocked that you're the one who doesn't have a license, considering you're supposed to be the responsible one and all." Well, of course I don't have a license. Jenny was already groaning as she got into the driver's seat, knowing exactly what dumb joke Connor was about to make. No one drives in LA. There's too much traffic. Without a destination in sight, the pair drove well into the late hours of the night. Connor was having a blast with Jenny as they headed far away from the city. They sang along to the crappy songs on the radio. They caught up with each other about recent developments in their lives and ate some slightly dubious-looking gas station hot dogs. It wasn't until Jenny started to yawn when Connor noticed just how late it had gotten. The time 1 a.m. glowed softly on the dashboard. Connor remembered that this was usually around the time he had been falling asleep. Luckily, due to all those iced coffees he bought from this coffee shop earlier, he wasn't feeling tired yet, but Connor had one can left and decided to crack it open and start drinking just in case. "Hey dude, I think we should start looking for a place to call it a night," Jenny said in between yawns. Connor knew she should probably get some sleep, but feared what would happen when he finally tuckered out. "Are you sure we can't keep driving for a little bit longer?" All right, fine. We can keep driving if you would split that coffee with me," she said. As valuable as the coffee felt to Connor at the moment, that was a deal he didn't want to pass up. Connor began handing the can over to Jenny, but before his hand could meet hers to make an exchange, a wave of nausea hit him like a truck. Connor didn't know where all of this fatigue had come from, but he was feeling perfectly awake a minute ago. Jenny seemed to sense that something was wrong and began to pull the car over. Connor's vision was quickly becoming blurry. He could feel Jenny putting her hands on him and thought he could make out some words coming from her asking if he was okay, but ultimately his hearing was failing on him as well. He attempted to move his body, but it was as if someone had paralyzed him, and he felt his grip around the can of coffee weaken. It had likely fallen onto the seat of the car, but Connor would never know. The world around him seemed to fade away as his vision went completely black. The first sense to return to Connor was his hearing, and the first sound he heard was a voice that he had spent his whole day trying to escape from. "Would you like to go back again?" Connor opened his eyes. The car wasn't anywhere to be seen, and neither was Jenny. Connor was back in his bed again, laying in the skeleton of his own home, with the boy standing directly in front of Connor, overlooking a destroyed world. "Why am I back here?" were the first words that Connor was able to mutter out. "Why is this happening to me?" "Why?" the boy asked, puzzled. "I don't really think that the reason matters all that much. The truth is you passed away in your sleep a few nights ago, and this is your own personal version of hell." The annoyance in the boy's usually indifferent voice seemed to grow, as if he was bothered by what few questions Connor had asked in their limited interactions. The idea of this left Connor dumbfounded. He wasn't the healthiest person in the world, but to pass away in his sleep despite being so young was something he could hardly believe. The boy turned his head so that Connor could see one of his eye sockets clearly. The holes that the boy had for eyes were never really visible to Connor, since they would always be accompanied by a sudden stream of darkness. But now that only one of them peered at him, Connor was able to completely take it in. Despite how little space it took up in the child's face, the hole appeared to be unfathomably deep and dragged in the light from around it. The boy kept staring into Connor as he continued. "It appears as though you didn't like that answer. I suppose it's also possible that you've fallen into a coma. I could be an alien performing a grand experiment on humanity. I could even be God and be doing all of this to play some cruel joke on you. Or maybe this has all just been one long confusing dream." The way the boy stared at Connor in the moment was that of a predator moments before it dug its teeth into its prey. "You may have even known what caused this from the very start, but for all you know, that could have been the very first memory that I took from you." The boy's gaze lingered for a second longer before looking away, and his voice mellowed out more, the annoyance being replaced with boredom. "Even if you knew, it's not like it would help your current situation. You'd be satisfied for a couple of minutes, but then you would return right back to despair when you realize that it still leaves you at square one." To a degree, Connor knew that the boy was right, but as Connor looked at the world around him, he felt a stark contrast with it and the time he had just spent with Jenny. This wasn't the world that Connor wanted to spend the rest of his time in, and if he had to lose a memory every time he wanted to leave this place, then so be it. Connor got up from his bed and stood over the boy. "You're right. I guess that kind of stuff doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, does it? Well, I'm not throwing the towel in just yet. Like you said before, I can keep getting new memories every time I go back, so it's not like I'll ever run out. I may not know what's going on yet or how to put an end to this, but given enough time, I will get to the bottom of it eventually, and at that point, I've got nothing but time on my hands." Connor walked around so that the boy could see his face, so that he could look at his face. "Let me go back to yesterday," he said, staring directly into the boy's eye sockets. As those words left his mouth, Connor could have sworn he saw a faint smile on the boy's face, but Connor's vision was quickly obscured by familiar darkness before waking up to the morning light. The end.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
That's pretty good.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Very atmospheric.
So that one, is that roughly just like basically a kid that's living through purgatory, if I'm to...
I think the point is that it's open to interpretation.
Okay.
That is the point. That was the entire purpose of his little spiel there.
Gotcha. I kind of figured that was the case. I wanted to double check and make sure I had it right, though.
We don't know, Dylan. We don't know what's going on.
Oh, well, I was
Poor
trying to
little
get.
fella.
I was trying to get the author's rendition. You know.
I know what's going on, but I'm not saying what's going on.
You don't know
not
what's
until
going on.
not until the full novel, right?
Not even in the full novel, Tanner. I never want people to know what's actually happening.
Oh, okay. I hate that kind of shit.
I think it makes it more interesting.
Nice.
I think it makes it less interesting, but
People like answers.
now
I know people like answers, they crave it, but the mystery, Jackson, the mystery is what makes it more engaging.
Now I'm curious, Nico. Is Connor based on yourself or someone you know?
No.
Interesting.
Connor's an everyman, Tanner.
Gotcha. Maybe that's why I was reading through this. I'm like, man, Connor kind of feels like me.
I wrote him to be relatable, you know?
Yeah.
That was the goal at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Jenya, on the other hand, is absolutely an amalgamation of several different friends.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
How many times does the word Connor appear in the script?
Let's find out.
Yeah, that's easy enough information.
159.
There we go.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Well, folks, we're down to our last story.
Our
Sure
longest one
are.
yet.
Is that
Wait,
true?
what? I hope not.
Well, how
His
long
is
is
in a
yours?
different format than...
Oh
It's
yeah,
in
he
a
wrote
very
his in a
different format.
fucking notes app.
Kinda, yeah. So I'm gonna be completely real. So I was working on an external thing for this. I might just go ahead and present that at a later time. So what we can do is we can go ahead and just read what I have, and then later when I have the whole thing actually done, I can show it to you guys. Does that sound alright?
Alright, so we're gonna do the short story part of the short story challenge, and then you'll show us the non-short story part of the short story challenge.
Sure. I guess if that's how you want to say it. Yeah. Fucking Da Vinci's been giving me the roughest time. I'm just sitting here trying to power through it.
Bro,
And it's
what
just like,
the
no,
fuck?
fuck you. Don't worry
This
about
is what
it.
I've been saying to him. I don't know why he's putting in all this other stuff when it's just supposed to be writing.
Listen, man, I'm really excited about this story, okay?
It's a transmedia experience.
Yeah. I mean, on the other hand, we could just go ahead and go through what I have already, and then I can show you when I'm done. So it's up to you guys.
That's what I suggested
What-
to you. I think you just show us what you have right now, and then you can finish it, and then show it at a later date. Doesn't have to be
I'm kind of
podcast.
thinking just show us whatever the part that involves being a story is.
All right. Well, this one's gonna involve all y'all guys. So go ahead and go to the Guap Dump Drive. I dropped my story in there. We're each gonna have our own role in this short story of mine.
Oh Jesus, this is very involved already.
So let me know when you guys got that all opened up, ready to go. I'll go through the synopsis and all that jazz, and kind of just the briefs. So we know what's going
Is
on.
Guap Dump different than just like the audio folder?
I mean, just don't go
Yes.
into the audio folder. I kind of just posted it right in the open. It should just be right next to whatever.
Is it the
events
one
and things.
titled Untitled Document?
Probably. Where'd it go?
Okay.
Hold up, I don't gotta fucking sign into this
It's
Google
now in
account, I guess.
It's now in podcast audio, Jackson.
Thank you. I don't have direct access to that.
Oh, weird. Why do I have access to that?
I didn't
fine.
know.
Alright, yeah, let me know when you guys got that all open up and we'll be ready to go. We'll go through this and we'll start.
I got it.
Jackson's ready.
Oh yeah, I have it open.
Tanner's ready. Nico, are you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so my short story is titled Schizophrenic. So, Jackson, fuck you for making your story about me.
You should have went first.
So yeah. So you've got the main character, and I'll let you guys scroll through all the characters. I have
Pilot. This is a TV show.
You made a fucking script here.
Anyway.
Holy shit.
So the
I will
names,
say I will say I'm impressed.
so the names of the people who are going to be voicing the characters are next to them. So go ahead and find your characters, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Also, this is what your guy. When I was asking you guys for pictures. This is what it resulted to. So your corresponding character is what I was able to get from you. So while you guys are reading through that, I'm gonna go ahead and read the story synopsis so we can get a roll.
Wait, so this picture is from that picture that I sent you?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
You're a minority now.
Yeah. True.
Alright, so synopsis. This is the story of a high school kid who is unsure of the life around him. He can see otherworldly beings that no one else can see. Undiagnosed schizophrenic or an unproclaimed medium. Maybe even an unqualified exorcist. Following our protagonist is an adorable spirit who has existed on the paranormal plane for eons and helps to inform the main character of the danger or power at play. The protagonist takes it upon himself to keep his world safe, but unbeknownst to others, that's not what it appears to be. Regardless of judgment or criticism, he pushed on.
Real
Alright.
quick here, Dylan.
What's up?
So for the love interest here, it says they used a picture of your sister.
Uh-huh.
No further questions.
Thank you. Anyway. It's not really important in this part of the story anyway, so it's whatever.
Okay.
Anyway. So I'll just go ahead and read the narrative parts. Tanner, I went ahead, for any, like, the miscellaneous characters that aren't actually included in, like, the summary, I'll just have you go ahead and voice them. So, if there's a character that's... And I abbreviated the names with, so hopefully you guys will catch on to that. We open to kids playing on a playground. Flashes of kickballs flying around. Kids screaming, laughing, and having a good time. We zoom in on Aaron amongst them, when suddenly something stops him in his tracks. A lumbering blob of mouths and eyes lurching across the grass. He lets out a shriek. The screen goes black. Cut to Aaron with Devin and Zeke in middle school. They're in between classes on their way to the drinking fountain. Suddenly, interrupting his own sentence, Aaron stops in his tracks. He sees a watering crane drinking from the fountain. Do you guys see that?
See what?
See what?
Suddenly, the crane turns towards them with a big human smile. It has 2 extra legs and 6 eyes. Aaron once again lets out a big scream, flashing from a nightmare he was having in the middle of class. Surrounded by his classmates and friends, you can hear the muddle of his crazed illusions among the class.
Aaron, are you alright?
Yeah, I'll be fine. It was just another nightmare, he says as he stares into the eyes of a blank figure standing behind the teacher, cackling at his misfortune.
Hey man, did you have another shizmare? Shizmare is what his friends have decided to call his episodes.
Why do I have a feeling I'm gonna regret including you? It's also pronounced skitsmare. So, there we go. Anyway. Yeah, I did.
Did you see another one of your monsters?
Yeah.
Have you gone and talked to a doctor about it yet?
My parents made me go, but I don't enjoy it. And they just want me to take their stupid medicine. Plus, they haven't actually found anything wrong with me.
Nico,
Oh
this
shit,
one's
that's me. Dude, that's impossible. There's no way you don't have a schizophrenia or something.
I don't care what anyone says. It all just seems too real to be that.
That's exactly what someone with a mental illness would say.
Yeah, man, just think about it. What if you were real? Wouldn't something major have happened by now? What if it were real?
Guys, I really don't have an explanation for this. It's kind of like, suddenly, the group is surprised by the appearance of Shaylin.
Hey guys, what you talking about?
It's nothing.
It's a subject he really doesn't feel comfortable talking about outside of our group. Sorry, Shay.
The group is soon joined by Carol.
Hi, Shay. What's going on here?
Just a group of lamos who can't spell the sauce.
You know them. They're very close-knit. They like to keep to themselves a lot.
Yeah, well, it's annoying when you guys, you want his info. But it's so important that you can't share outside of your friends.
It's personal, okay? It doesn't concern you.
Whoa, dude, calm down. She's just asking.
Yeah, well, we already made it apparent that none of us want to say anything.
I know, man, but you don't have to shout. You're just gonna attract more attention and get us in trouble.
Yeah, well, whatever gets me out of here. In walks Jared, a junior in high school, star quarterback for the varsity football team. Curious about the commotion and whatever he can do to be a nuisance to the underclassmen.
What's up, schizo freak?
What do you want, jarhead?
Hey, Jared, how's class?
Whoa, man, I thought we were all friends here, right, Shriek and Neville?
The group all sit in silence for what feels like forever.
Look, man, this doesn't involve you. Just get out of here.
Yeah, guy. We don't want to have trouble, we're just...
Oh, I'm not looking for trouble either, but here we are. Shit, maybe we should get going.
Clearly upset. Yeah, but, yeah, let's get out of here.
Shane and Carol storm off.
What's the problem?
Clearly, our assumptions of you being a jarhead are correct. Jared slams Aaron into the locker.
Goosh, listen here, schizo freak. You don't have much room to talk. You think you're something special? 'Cause you're not. Remember your place.
The school bell rings, and Jared walks off in his crowd of his varsity jacketed jerks. Suddenly, a little dragon dog creature pops from the locker Aaron was slammed into, startling him a bit. Assuming it will go away, he walks off with his friends. Ignore him, guys. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He has no idea what the world has in store for him. G snickers as he follows close behind. An intro.
Oh, it's an anime intro? Wait. This is an actual song you put here?
Yeah. It's not a link to it, though.
Damn it. Do you think I can insert this into the episode?
No, you're gonna get
absolutely.
Wait a second,
not.
is the thing you're editing an anime OP?
No.
Damn it. Okay, continue.
Jichi-Ra has been following and pestering all day, making it obvious it's not going away anytime soon. A day filled with random outbursts in class about a bothersome creature floating around. Needless to say, he was pretty frustrated by the end of the day. I'm so done with this. Maybe I'll go to the doctor just to get rid of you.
Haha, you could most certainly try, but I don't think your mortal doctors can get rid of me.
Alright. Yeah, well, it's worth a... Wait. I haven't ever had one talk back to me. Are you real?
As a matter of fact...
No. I'm not submitting to this illness everyone labels me to have. You can go away if I try hard enough. Aaron tightly shuts his eyes and tries his best to clear his mind. Behind his ear, he hears Jichi-Ra's cackling break the silence.
You humans are so funny with all of your practices.
Blocking him out, he continues to concentrate.
You know it's not working, right? I'm still here. It's not so easy to get rid of me, you know?
Leave me alone. You're not real and I'm not sick.
And you're right.
What?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, great. My mind is confirming what everyone else says now. Is this the beginning of the end for me?
It doesn't have to be the end if you don't want it to be. You can stop it all.
I can? How?
I am powerless to stop them, but you're not. You can help me banish them, and then you can prove you're not sick.
What are you talking about? Not being sick? I thought that's what you were talking about.
Of course not. Don't be crazy.
Not the best thing to have said in this moment, but I'm listening.
Have you heard of mediums?
Long ago, portals would open all over this planet, but they were quickly subdued and contained thanks to this world's religious beliefs. And the humans were able to hold back the malevolent spirits for eons. But because of recent developments in science and general hysteria, it is more prevalent in some parts of the world than others. As far as I've been able to observe, only the countries that have the least development are unaffected. But these big bustling cities where science has taken root and mediums, religions, and psychics have been humiliated as scams and false practices have been affected the most. I have come to believe that the spirits of this world were able to manifest enough mana to, I guess we could say, influence mass amounts of people to slowly push out these practices to help them take over more and more slowly over time. It was because of these mediums that we were able to keep balance. They each had their own rules, and they kept them to uphold the structure of this world. Religions hold the seal and continue the practice and influence of faith to keep your society safe. Psychics can read the future intentions of spirits and provide information of one. They are very good at sensing their presence. Mediums are the real problem here. There are a lot of them, but unfortunately they're not very good. They're the ones that have the power and abilities to banish spirits, and combat them if need be. You are one such medium. It will take some training, but I sense some hidden potential in you. All we need to do is find you a psychic and a pastor or preacher to collaborate with so we can get this done. We need to stop the evil spread of these malevolent spirits. If not, your world could be consumed and ruled by spirits. A spirit is rising to power as we speak, declaring himself the Overlord Spirit, and goes by the name of Aetherius. We have to stop him and his plans at all costs. We need to plug the portals where they are the strongest and re-establish the seals in the churches in the surrounding area. It will take a lot of work, but it's either this or your world is doomed. So I'm not crazy and my world is doomed?
Only probably doomed. Humans need to have more faith in your abilities. That's what makes us spirits better.
Well, it's kind of a lot to take in. Talking to a spirit, it's revealed an entire new existence to me, and it told me it's up to me to save it.
You humans' emotional stability is so easily swayed. That's what makes it so delicious.
Gross.
No, it's quite delicious.
Anyway, what do I even call you? What are you besides a spirit?
My name is Jichira, and I'm just a spirit. Nothing more complicated than what you humans have as a separation system.
You mean races and countries?
See, already too complicated. I guess if it makes you feel better, you could call me, yokai.
That's better. What kind are you?
Always the complications. I guess just call me a doggone.
A doggone what?
What?
A doggone what?
You humans and your terrible slangs. Call me a drog then.
Let's not do that.
What do you want from me, human?
Well, you look like a dog, and also a dragon? How about a ponhu? I remember this story about one that turned into a man and married some woman.
Haha, whatever helps you cope, I guess. Let's get going.
A day passes and Aaron continues to ask G about the other plane of existence. The next morning, Aaron and G are heading to school.
Do you always walk to school by yourself? Humans are so lonely.
No, I don't walk to school by myself. We're about to pass by Devin and Zeke's house.
Devin and Zeke are next door neighbors.
There we go. That works, I guess.
I don't know who was supposed to say that.
I don't know.
Oh well, that's a relief. I wasn't able to sense them out a lot the other day, so maybe this is my chance.
Just don't be weird. Can they even see you?
Nope, just you, and the others like you.
Thank goodness. That's a relief.
Unless I want them to.
Let's hold off on that. Devin and Zeke approach from the oncoming direction. Hey guys, how's it going? Nico, that's you.
Nico's currently trying to act like I do when we played that fucking
Oh shit,
Halloween
yeah, I was
dating
muted
simulator.
there. Sorry about that.
That's what happened.
Dang.
Oops. Well, the day's just started, so I guess we'll see.
Well, I think it's going to be a great day.
Tanner, just because I don't think you'll have any more lines, really, you can just go ahead and do the emphasis parts too, like the narration shit.
Oh, okay,
Tanner,
sure.
you can create like some background music for this, you know, like.
Or do
Anyway.
do the fucking Evangelion with those obnoxiously loud cicadas in every scene.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
The
do
three
some of those in
begin
the background
walking
here.
together.
What do you think they'll think of me? It's not very nice to ignore people, you know. You know I won't stop until...
Alright, shut up, I get it.
Who are you talking to?
Come on, man, don't ask him.
Nah, it's alright. It's an understandable question.
G begins cackling. The three continue their walk to school, but Aaron is put off by this uneasy feeling. He can't quite put his finger on it, but with this new perception on life, he's seeing things through a different lens.
Do you feel it too?
What do you mean?
The mana presence. It's strong enough that even humans can feel it. Ask your friends.
Hey guys, are you feeling a little weird, or is it just me?
I mean, I guess so. What do you mean?
Dude! What did you just tell me?
Calm down, it's not the same thing.
Zeke and Devin continue arguing in the background.
How strong is the presence for you?
It's pretty strong, but I don't have anything to scale it to. Do you know where it is or how close it is?
It's very close. The mana is probably potent because it's so close.
That's good. What do? Do we run?
No, this is your first test. You are going to banish this spirit.
What? I have no experience. I don't even know what I'm doing or how I'm doing it. Until yesterday, I didn't even know I was a medium.
I will help you. As I have said, I am an ancient spirit and I know my way around other spirits. I can provide you with information if you need it.
If you've been around so long, why haven't you done anything with all this mana you've most likely collected?
Smart observation. You see, I use mine for reincarnation, or just to stop people like you from vanishing or banishing?
That's supposed to be banishing.
Banishing me. It's not like I'm doing any harm, and if we leave this plane, we also leave behind all of our mana. Just be scooped up by another spirit. Or just to be scooped up.
How can I trust that when I banish a spirit, you won't scoop up the mana yourself?
Heh. A wise question. But let me ask you something in return. Don't you think I would have done something by now with all this mana I have stored?
Aaron pauses in silence right as he's about to answer.
No more time to think. It's here.
Aaron braces himself for what he was about to see. Before, these things have only been illusions, but now that he's living in a reality in which he's aware that they're more than pretty colors and mean faces.
What are we dealing with here, G?
Another yokai, like me. Not a huge mana presence. Even you should be able to handle it.
That's good to know. What should I do?
Devin and Zeke take notice of the situation change and see Aaron's posture change. However, they go back to arguing.
Focus on the spirit. Find its core, where it stores its mana. Target that source and force it back.
Force it back? Where?
You've seen it before. I know you were there the other day during class. That's what drew me to you, heh. You're all there while you sleep.
Creepy.
What looks to be your average spirit manifests from what seems to be out of nowhere. This is Aaron's first time witnessing it in this way. Taking in what just happened, he readies himself for whatever may happen.
So these little parts here where it's italicized with the quotation marks, that's like the person's thoughts. So it's not necessarily important, but for story reasons it is.
So do you want to... Okay.
Yeah, I'll luckily, it doesn't seem to move very fast. There's a big glowing blue orb in its chest. That must be the mana. Alright, now that I know where it is, I just have to know how to get at it and where my opening is.
The spirit meanders over to the group, seemingly harmless, then suddenly shifting into a malevolent spirit. The white transitions into a black, and the mana that was once blue has shifted to an eerie red.
Whoa, it changed, and the presence is a little different now too.
Spirits often show their true intentions through their incorporeal appearance, much like how you humans' body language changes.
Alright, well it only seems to be moving slightly faster than it was before. Nothing I can't handle.
It moves to swipe, but it's very sluggish and easy to avoid with some simple dodges. Now engaged in combat, Devin and Zeke have taken full notice.
Is he okay?
Hey, unmute yourself, Nico.
Fuck! I thought I remembered this time.
Damn.
I don't know, I've never seen him like this.
They start their way over to Aaron.
Shoot, they're on their way over. I didn't even make this inconspicuous and end it quick, if that's even possible.
He angles himself away from their approach so they can't see what he's doing as well.
Do I need to grab it, or do I have some kind of force powers?
Either works, but I imagine your psionic ability not being anything more than short-ranged.
Well, I'm not about to have to explain more than what I have to, so let's give it a try.
Aaron begins concentrating on the red orb. He begins to manifest it in his mind. He shuts his eyes.
You're better off doing close combat. You're too new. It's not gonna work.
Suddenly, his mind latches onto the orb.
I got it.
What?
Aaron begins to force the spirit to the source of his dreams. A place he thought he could only touch in the subconscious. The spirit resists for a moment, and Aaron can feel the mental strain.
This is worse than taking a test.
After moments of a power struggle with the spirit, he feels something slipping. The spirit lets out a disembodied wail.
No, you can't make me go back. I still have to fulfill my mission for the Overlord. You shouldn't even be capable of this yet.
It turns to see Jichi Ra.
You traitor! You were once a trusted advisor. How could you do this?
Before G can give a snarky remark, Aaron finally forces him through a portal and back to the spectral plane. Mentally exhausted, Aaron feels like he's about to pass out. He recovers and is able to catch himself, but luckily his friends are there to help him up.
Whoa, dude. What was all that? Are you okay?
Yeah, you're acting kind of strange. We wanted to say something, but me and Devin decided to keep out of it.
Oh, yeah. Real smooth, dude.
What?
It's okay, guys. I'm fine. Thank you. Let's just get to school.
So, what was all that back there anyway?
Another schismare?
Yeah, it was.
Those are getting more frequent. Have you put any more thought into going for treatment?
You know what? I already found someone.
That's awesome, dude. I guess it's just a work in progress then.
Yeah, it's not gonna be easy, but I know in time, things are gonna work out.
He glances over to G.
Oh yeah, I never mentioned your question earlier. That one about feeling something weird?
Yeah?
It was strange, but I actually did.
Oh.
How did you know?
In the distance, the three hear the school bell ring.
What? No way! Even with our holdup, we shouldn't be late to school.
How are you feeling, Aaron?
I'm fine, let's go!
The three sprint ahead in a desperate attempt to avoid consequences of being any more late than they are. Jichira hesitantly follows behind, unsure about the situation.
Something doesn't feel right.
The three are rapidly approaching the school. Aaron is starting to have a suspicious feeling that's confirmed with a strong mana problem. He brings himself slowly to a stop.
Oh no, not again.
Devin also starts feeling weird again and brings himself to a stop.
It's that weird feeling again, but stronger. What's going on today?
Zeke, confused about the whole situation, turns around to see his friends are no longer behind him.
Guys, what are you doing? We're gonna be late, let's go.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, he runs into an invisible barrier and bounces back. The other two quickly rush to his aid and help him up. In almost an instant, Jichira is caught up with the group.
Please tell me that you can sense this.
Yeah, I can.
He glances towards his friends and focuses on Devin.
For some reason, I think he can too.
It's just as I thought. Your friends may be missing pieces we need.
What do you mean?
Hey, who are you talking to? What's going on right now? Please tell me this is a prank or some kind of dream. I get the voices mixed up. Oops. By power of observation and feeling the mana force that naturally comes from humans, I have deduced that your friends are a psychic and a preacher accordingly.
What? Who's who?
Your friend, I believe his name is Devin. He is the psychic.
Okay, but that doesn't make sense. Zeke is too young to be a preacher. Plus, I don't think he's ever gone to church.
What about his parents?
Shock shoots through Aaron's body.
How could I forget? Zeke's dad is the preacher of the largest church organization in town.
The sky becomes a maelstrom of purple and black. Swirling clouds envelop the surrounding area. A cylindrical column of cloud touches down and begins manifesting.
Zeke's dad is a preacher at the large church in the center of town.
Excellent, then I guess you have your team.
Well, what do we do about this?
Devin senses the presence of G, turns to face Aaron and sees him speaking again.
Aaron, seriously? Do you know what's going on? You seem more calm than us.
Yeah, seriously guys, what's going on?
I can explain later. For now, I need you guys to trust me and follow my instructions.
What?
Why? What's going on? Why are we acting like this is real?
Just shut up and trust me!
Devin and Zeke look at each other and solemnly nod at each other.
I guess we have no other
I
choice.
guess we have no other choice. Alright, we trust you, man. What do we do?
A gleam appears in Aaron's eyes.
Alright. Devin, you're my scout. If you feel a presence in any one area in specific, I need you to relay that information to me and Zeke.
Roger, roger.
Zeke?
He hesitates on his order.
What's up? What can I do?
Are you sure?
Now's not the time for one of your skiz moments.
Look around. I don't think you have much room to talk. I know, I'm getting to it. Alright, Zeke. I need you to...
Hurry up, your life force is in danger.
Alright. Zeke, I need you to hold your hands to the sky.
Alright, easy.
And I need you to... pray a faith prayer.
What? Listen, man, don't mess around. You know I don't do that stuff.
I know.
So don't mess around.
Look around, man. This place isn't normal. We're clearly not outside the school anymore. No one is around but us. No one will know.
That's not the point.
I get it, man. You got problems with your old man, but don't let that get in the way of saving our lives.
Wait.
What? I heard that from in here. Jesus Christ. God.
Hold on. Aaron glances sympathetically towards Devin as if to apologize.
Just do it so we can get out of here.
I don't understand what this has to do with anything. I'm so confused. Can't you explain anything?
There's no time to explain.
The maelstrom manifests into a fully formed behemoth.
That's the behemoth. They're monstrous brutes of the spirits. Your world's word for this would be Raiju. Capable of immense power. They must have sent this because you stopped the last one. They're not taking any chances. They want to stop all of us.
What do you mean by all of us? What did we do? What did you do?
It's like you said, there's no time to explain. Watch out!
The behemoth stands just over 8 feet and takes up the width of 2 men. The Raiju winds up to bring down its fist. With a massive crash, it brings a gale force wind down on them. Gusts of wind kick up dust and dirt, and clouds begin to consume the surrounding area. The scene slowly fades to black.
Cliffhanger! Let's go!
You know, honestly, I'm gonna be on. I had some doubts going into this, seeing the structure, but I think you did a fantastic job on this.
Let's go! And I'm only technically, for the sake of the challenge, I'm completely done. For the sake of my satisfaction, I'm only halfway done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like to think that Jared is how Dylan truly sees me.
I just figured I'd give you a character you would have a really easy time fitting the role of.
Yeah, so what I just
The bully.
I mean, I think I said it a little nicer, though.
not really.
What do you mean? It's fine, don't worry about it.
Tanner, I just wanted to tell you, I really think that you'd fit the role of like a big bully character who just kind of like comes in and talks shit for no reason and then like randomly leaves.
Yeah. I'm gonna assume he has like a fucking Kumaru change.
You're gonna have a redemption arc later down the line.
Yes, it'll.
I said that guy's name wrong. Who's the bully in Yu Yu Hakusho?
It doesn't matter. You're the Sasuke to his Naruto.
Kuwabara.
Huh? Yeah, Kuwabara. He's gonna have a Kuwabara arc, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
He's never seen it before. He doesn't know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's fine. Kuwabara he's like the bully of the main character, but then like they get caught up in some paranormal shenanigans and they grow a begrudging respect of each other.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was feeling.
There we go.
All right.
Well. That is all of our stories, guys.
It sure is.
Yeah,
Did
we
you wanna
finally
show-
made it to the very end.
I was gonna say, Dylan, did you want to show what you had in progress?
Yeah, I have it saved where I currently am.
All right, let's see that. I'll throw that in here.
The ending's gonna get a little choppy just because. Also, I wouldn't recommend sharing the ending because I already slapped on the intro music. So, all right. I guess I can play it straight from DaVinci, can't I?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
I don't know if the
go
sound will
to-
come through, but I'd assume so.
How do I get back to the home page?
No one knows.
Well, that sucks. Well, let me see if I can. It's got to be a file somewhere in my folders here.
While Dylan is searching for that, let's do a real, and I mean real quick, Guapish at the movies.
I forgot about that.
Well,
What the fuck
this
did we
week
watch
we watched Surf's Up.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought I literally forgot to watch the movie this week, and I got scared.
I thought it had a very unique framing device, with it being a mockumentary, but
I wanted
animated,
to say that. Now I have nothing to say about the film, Tanner, you piece of shit.
You don't have anything
Unfortunate.
to say besides it had a documentary feel to it.
I like Tank. He's a fun character. I like that he fucks his trophies.
I feel
He
like
just shoves them inside his cloaca.
Okay.
I think all I have to say about this film is, they choose their little shtick and they do it very well.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a B.
Yeah.
Jackson, what are your thoughts?
That's a little generic. I think the documentary thing, of course, was like the big selling point of the movie.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I really liked that much. The comedy was alright. I liked the little bird guy. The little bird guy was funny.
Yeah.
The plot was pretty generic, I think.
But Jackson, was the bird gay?
I'm gonna say no to displease you.
Damn it.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
overall I
nice.
thought it was just an alright movie. It had some funny moments, but for the most part it was kind of just like generic and easy to predict. I'd probably give it like C+.
C+, Jesus.
Yeah, Tanner, can you post the tier list real quick here so I can see what all the tiers are? Because I know there's a shitload on there.
Oh, yeah. Let me show you the current version of it. Do. Movie tier list. Here it is. Bada bing.
Yeah, this is like a shitload of tiers.
It sure is.
Yeah, and considering we're ranking like every movie possible on this thing, like compared to every other movie, I definitely don't think that Surf's Up is anywhere near a B. I'd say like, let's go with like a C- for it. I think it's an enjoyable movie. It does its shtick well and stuff, but there are just so many better movies out there than Surf's Up, you know?
Yeah, I thought it was serviceable.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, because C is pretty much the middle of this list. That is, a perfectly serviceable average movie.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to change my B to a C+.
2 C+, a C-. Dylan, what are you throwing in the ring here?
Damn, man. I mean, I thought it was a very good movie. I really enjoyed this movie a lot.
S+, it sounds like.
I was gonna go with S in the original watching of the movie. It's very hard for me to find things wrong with the movie unless there are very specific things, like specific tropes I don't like.
All right, this will be quite the ordeal to rank this. Then, how we average S, a C-, and a 2 C+.
That's probably like a B+ or a B- or a C+.
Here, listen, I'm just going to do the math, guys.
That probably works.
So, 1 plus 3 plus 3 is 7, plus 11 is 18.
Divided by 4.
Yeah, divided by 4.
4.5.
It's like 4.2 or some shit. We're gonna
exactly
round it.
4.5.
We're gonna round it down to 4, so it's a B-.
Okay.
Well,
My
there we
math
go.
skills are
There we go.
impeccable.
Surf's Up, B-.
I don't know if we should have asked Blake his opinion on this. I don't think we asked him for the opinion on The Big Lebowski.
We didn't.
No, it
Is he awake right now? It says he's
Probably.
playing Grand Theft Auto 5 right now. Give him a phone call.
I found this on
man.
the web.
Yeah, I have to literally call him on my phone because he does not fucking pick up whenever I message him on Discord. Hold up.
Alright, thank God it
Do
actually
it.
does show up.
I am calling him.
Make sure you put it on speakerphone.
Oh, I will. Hold up. If I can find him in my contacts list. I got too many Ingrams in my contact. I just doxed Blake. My bad. Oops.
Uh-oh.
Wait, is he related to Dylan?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Huh?
I keep fucking hitting the text message going. Hold up. I'm fumbling right now.
Is there a way to make this
He's
full
fucking it
screen?
up.
Or at least a bigger screen?
I will say, by calling Blake, we are undoubtedly going to drag this movie higher.
Yes.
Hold on, did he watch it with
I'm
us?
calling him
Actually?
right now. No, he didn't.
No, I don't think he did.
Oh well, I mean, if you didn't watch the movie this week,
He's currently ghosting me.
damn.
Unfortunate.
Is there any way to make this screen bigger? Are you guys also able to see this currently?
Hang on. Yeah, B- might be a little high, but that about does it for Guapish at the movies.
Well,
Yeah,
we need,
Blake
before
ghosted
we
me.
get-
Unfortunate.
We need to choose the next one. So this one
Yeah.
is Dylan choosing
Yeah, Dylan, what do you want the next movie to be?
I choose The Labyrinth.
the Labyrinth.
Yep, The Labyrinth.
Oh, the David Bowie one.
Yep,
Yeah,
Okay.
the one where you can see his penis.
that's not true.
It
Blake,
is
baby,
true.
Blake. Talk
Probably-
to me.
Oh,
What's happening?
What would you rank Surf's Up, right? So we're looking at like F, D, C, B, A, S, like normal tier list rankings. right? Or just like the grade system. And you can have a minus and a plus to each tier. So like there's an F minus and an F plus, and there's an S plus and an S minus. You get that. Where are you putting Surf's Up in the tier list?
I give it a solid B plus.
A solid B plus.
Damn it.
There we go. Thank you for the help here, Blake. Your opinion will be very greatly appreciated.
It's been a while since I've seen that. Be worth seeing again sometime.
There we go. All right. Thank you for the help, Blake. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye.
You guys getting ready to go to Japan?
Soon. We're in the podcast right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hang up on you now. Bye bye.
Unfortunately for Blake, his opinion will not actually be considered very highly because we will not be putting it towards our ranking.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
You
That just
B-
opens up a can of worms I don't want to deal with.
True.
snake, Nika. You snake.
Nah, I agree. The rule should definitely be it has to be people who watched it, during the week.
Yeah,
I agree.
it
So B
helps.
minus for Surf's Up, and we are watching The Labyrinth. I really want to find a movie that Dylan will rank in F.
I'm gonna pick a porno.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Wow.
Or just some movie where, like, I don't know, like the dog dies at the end of it or
Fuck
something like
those
Old Yeller.
movies. Don't kill the dog. The dog's
You
more
see?
important to people sometimes.
Fuck them dogs.
Interesting. We found the loophole. Okay.
That's like the original.
That's all it takes.
The Incredible
Dylan, did you
Hulk.
actually rank fucking Surf's Up in S tier?
Yes, I really enjoyed the movie. Don't judge me. We all have our opinions.
I know, but it's just like your rankings seem to have no nuance.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyways, let's see what you worked on here.
It's a little rough around the edges because I'm not familiar with Da Vinci, so please forgive me on that front. Let me know if you can't hear it because there should be sound right about here, so we'll get the sound pretty quick into here.
Yeah,
So let
let's
me know
see if we can hear it.
Alright, let's go. Hopefully. Play.
You can't. Never mind.
What?
Nothing.
I can't what?
Calling it your own design, but using AI generators. That's not. Yeah, we can hear it.
Yeah.
Dope. This works out perfect. The timing and spacing is rough. I wasn't focused on it because, I was on a time crunch. I
No,
was
we
just
get it,
trying to
man.
shove
Don't even worry about it. We weren't expecting you to do this at all.
Yeah, this is like 10 levels higher than any of us else did.
Whoa!
I thought that was Morphine Jar.
I can't believe you didn't make us send you lines.
Nah. I mean, we could do it later. I'm just not.
You know what, I feel like we should line up our commentary to me actually replaying this in the podcast. So can you pause it real quick?
Sure.
Okay, Dylan.
That'd be crazy effort on your part,
Yeah.
Tanner.
No, it's not that crazy. Dylan just
Okay,
paused
all
it.
right.
Hey, I'm talking to editor Tanner right now. The video is paused on the crane thing. I'm gonna count down from 3, and then you're gonna play it again. Okay?
Alright.
3, 2, 1. So this is like the script with the bird and whatnot. Gotcha. Should we add our own voices to the classroom noise since we'd be in here too?
Yeah, sure.
I was just playing at the football game and I threw a big pick. That guy thought he could sack me, but there
You
was
see
no
Stacy's ash lately? God, it's getting small.
way. The teacher is such a bitch. I swear to God.
One of these days, I swear.
Oh my God, are we in the back rooms now?
Sure. I don't know.
Which of our anime versions are the most handsome? I will say Nico's is the one that most looks like him.
Yeah, it does.
That one's looking pretty off. Did I ever show you guys that I got some AI generated anime thingos of me?
No.
I don't think we did. We'll have to look. Well, that'll be post-guap content since that's
Okay, there we
something
go.
we can look at nice and quick. Is this how much of the script is rendered here?
I got all the way up until the intro, where the intro begins.
Okay.
Are we just gonna cut us talking about this out right now because it's just gonna be overlaid?
Yeah,
on the previous-
presumably it would be.
Really?
All right, somebody
I
say
mean,
the
there was
N-word.
no point. There was no point in doing the sync if I'm just gonna cut us talking over it out.
What were you planning on
otherwise
doing?
It's gonna be us. It's gonna be us talking over it right now, as well as the script playing, Tanner.
Oh, that's not what
That we
I
were
was
doing
planning
before.
on doing.
What the fuck were you planning on doing?
No, I just mean us giving commentary to this clip right now would be playing while I have the clip going.
Oh, I see. I thought you were literally planning on
No, what the
splicing it up
fuck?
so-
Do you know
That's
how
how-
hard that would be?
That's why both Nico
Yeah,
and
that's
I were
why we
so
were confused. That's
confused.
also what I thought.
No way, no, we're just fucking like MST3K in it right now.
Okay, yeah.
okay.
I was very concerned, but you're saying like you have no idea how hard this is gonna be, Tanner.
Yeah, no way. That'd be crazy.
You'd be there for like a few hours doing this, probably.
Yeah.
If Dylan wants, I can give him the audio of us reading the script, and he can do that.
I don't know about that. That's gonna take me forever just to get this thing done.
Which of the girls is cutest, mine or Nico's? And by extension,
yours is
which of
Tanner.
Dylan's sisters are cutest?
I feel like it's a trap for me to even answer that question.
It is, yeah. You're not allowed
They
to
look
say
nothing
anything.
like your sisters, though.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Look, it's me.
Wow.
I'm the most handsome.
Tanner,
I
you
love-
just like beards on men. I don't get it, dude.
I like how my eyes are fucking. What's it called when your eyes are pointing inwards?
Yeah,
Cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed. That's right.
Your character came out all right, but I definitely had to do the most Photoshop work to your character. So I had
I
like
don't know.
your left eye, so our right side, but your character's left eye. I had to copy and paste his other eye and put it over it because it just wasn't all fucked up,
That's funny.
and I had to blend it together and make it look decent. Everybody else was perfectly fine. I didn't really have to alter anybody.
You did a good
Like,
job. I can't even tell that you did that.
Yeah, same.
I do like me a little bit of graphic design. I didn't do very much of it, so I'm a little rusty and rough around the edges, but
How'd you
I
come
do
up with-
enjoy it a lot.
How'd you come up with the characters' names? Like, where'd all that pop up from?
I just kind of like started popping up random names. I didn't want them to be super similar to, our characters, but also just not.
You mean too
super
similar to
fun.
us as real people?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I also didn't want them to be like.
We are just characters to him.
No.
That's
But-
the schizophrenia talking.
I'm just the group
Oh,
friend.
by the way, I'm pretty
Tanner's
sure the
just a
anime
bully.
intro music might start here really soon. Just FYI as a warning. So you can cut
Oh,
the
yeah.
sound out as far as my video if you can do that. But
Why is that?
Because the fucking anime song is about to start playing.
Nah, you just gotta put a weird audio filter over it.
yeah, do
Alright,
that.
pause it here, Dylan.
All right.
Enough of that.
Wait. Is the title of this show schizophrenic?
Yes, I said that in the beginning before I even started telling my story.
I didn't catch that somehow.
No, it's called schizophrenic, and the whole deal is like this kid thinks he's crazy seeing things, but it's really just another spiritual dimension and the things that he's gonna have to combat and fight off.
It's pretty
But
good.
When are you
else
gonna
thinks he's
start like
schizophrenic.
pitching this around to like Studio Trigger or like Animax or like
I don't know, man.
any of them people?
I was sharing this idea with people at work, and they were like, "Oh, are you gonna turn this into a show?" And I was like, "I'd like to, I guess." But
Nico,
I
how long will it
seriously
take you
doubt
to
it's
learn
happening.
animation?
I mean, like, I already have like the basics down, so like from there, it really just comes into like the time commitment,
There you go.
There we go. Anyway,
Let's
so that's what I
get
have
a
so
pilot
far.
out in the next 6 months.
That was, to be honest, all of like the Da Vinci work was pretty much just today, and then I was doing all like the character preparation and everything like the entire week. I finally finished up doing Photoshopping and everything the characters yesterday. And I thought I'd be able to get it done really quick, but Da Vinci crashed on me twice today and set me back
Unfortunate.
quite a far way. So
Guys, first off, I just want to call round of applause for all of our effort with the fucking short story challenge.
That's right, Tanner. Take the clapping sound that I was doing earlier in the episode and just like kind of pile it on each other and like stagger it a little bit during that sequence there, so that you get like a nice round of applause going.
I don't remember you doing that at all because it probably didn't come through Discord, but sure.
Probably not.
And by sure, I mean no.
Well, come on.
It's so easy.
But yeah, no, I'm actually genuinely impressed by all of us. I think I like how different we all went, like directionally,
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan
But-
often says that we're all far too similar to one another, and yeah, look at this. We were all able to come up with some rather different things here.
I don't remember saying we're all too similar.
You said you have trouble telling us apart at times.
What, like, what? Huh? What?
Like in his mind, when he categorizes us and like our personalities, they all just kind of blend together in his mind.
Maybe instead of schizophrenia, Dylan just has main character syndrome.
Tanner, I was really hoping you'd be able to tell that Nico was lying, but I guess not.
Anyway,
That's why I didn't say anything.
Let's get this episode wrapped up already. Everyone vote on which one was your favorite, and you can't vote for your own. Jackson.
I like Nico's.
Mm-hmm. Dylan.
I liked Jackson's.
Nico.
I like Tanner's.
This is so funny. I like Dylan's the most.
Let's go! We all win!
It's a 4-way tie.
There we go. It's a Cinderella ending.
Yeah.
To be completely fair, I completely forgot. I don't actually even know if we were doing this to win. I was just excited to write the story. I don't think I was concerned about winning.
At the end of the day, the audience are the true winners, and they are also the true arbiters. You decide down in the comments who you believe won.
Don't vote, don't ruin it.
Yeah, we're all friends here. Don't ruin our friendship.
Do you know what else ruins friendship? How about you tell them about the Patreon, Nico?
I have to tell them about the Patreon. Okay, so look, money ruins friendships, and by keeping money out of this business, it is keeping us afloat right now. But once you start subscribing is when the drama really starts coming in, okay? That's when all the infighting and, like, the arguing over, like, what percentages we all need to take, that's when it becomes real, okay? So what you need to do if you want to make things a little more interesting around here is go over to /Guapish_Patreon.com /Guapish, and that's where you can donate. Just a single $1 a month will net you the pre-guap, the post-guap, 500 slime coins, access to the Discord server, I guess, is something that I think we've pitched before, as well as probably other things. Also, we read your name. Isn't that crazy? Also, follow us on Rumble. What are you doing over here?
Bye.
That's it.
Bye.